Can I start? Good morning and a very warm welcome. Sorry for the little interruption. Better late than never. Meenala Satyamurthy from Ekcel Academy with you for today's class. Mind you, this is a 12th class. And it's surprising how time flies. Still not registered? Please do. Better late than never. Now with this, let's move on directly to where we had stopped yesterday. So let's start. Oh no, I have to download everything again. Could you please give me a minute? I'm sorry for that. Yes, I will just zoom 2 minutes. Yes, we were in this paper, mock paper. I had also made one more paper for you today. And we were in this comprehension passage that we had done. So it was about WTO. So we were into this one. So let's look at this one. In the large part, it was an exercise in consolidation, context of a trade negotiation and everything. Formation of WTO is a deeply conservative act needed to ensure benefits of the new rules would not be lost. It was all about institutional structure and dispute settlement. These are the concerns of conservatives and not revolutionaries. That is why lawyers and legalists took the lead on these issues. So the WTO codified the GATT institutional practice that are developed by custom over 3 decades, and it incorporated new dispute settlement system that was necessary to keep both old and new rules. Okay, now let's see the question. What would be the closest reason why WTO was not formed in the 1970s? The Tokyo round negotiations was an attempt at constitutional reform. US government did not like it. Lawyers did not work. Important players did not find it in their best to do so. Now he says that's the answer. Let's go back to the reason. Okay. Now, however, it could have been negotiated. Okay, fine. But what factor? Okay, was it that it was not created is the answer. So you can see the disputed part. Okay, countries like Canada. So if you really come on to it, so long standing goal, okay, that is there. Okay, these are all creations. Okay, now what is the reason for it not to be created before 1970 was the one? So okay, fine. So the answer is yeah. Now here it says it could have been factors. What factor led to its creation? It could have been done, but it could not have been done because of these people who do not show any kind of interest. That's the answer. Okay, now let's move on to the second one. According to the passage, WTO promoted the technical legal values through ambiguities about the powers of contracting parties, integrating under one roof the agreement. That's the answer. And then in the statement, it amounted to recognition that international trade and its benefits cannot be enjoyed unless trading nations accept the discipline of a negotiated rule-based environment. It refers to the export gains many countries came to associate associate with a rule-based system. In the method of the interpretation of the European Court of Justice, action against member states need to be evaluated against the said community goals. The most likely reason for the acceptance of the WTO package by the nations was they recognize the need for a rule-based environment to protect the embrace of trades and this thing. So this was the thing that we had done yesterday. This is where we had stopped. Now, as I told you, I have done one more paper for you so that you could go through it and practice, and then we go back to the next mock paper. Here also, I have taken questions from everywhere. That is, this is mainly about a listening passage and certain business communication that I took it out. Okay, business report should not be written in essay format. That is very important to you. That is, you should know, not in essay format. Next, I have completely concentrated on listening skills. At times, there have been questions regarding listening skills for you. Dash is not a passive process. Listening is not at all a passive process. Sorry. Okay. Next one, dash is a physiological process. Hearing is a physiological process. There's always a difference between hearing and listening. I can hear, but I need not pay attention to anything. Now, while I'm teaching, I can hear the fan swirling above me, but I need not pay attention to it because I have now a work to be done, that is to teach you. So I'm concentrating on that part. So I am hearing, which is a physiological process, but if I have to listen, I have to remove my this and then listen carefully to the sound. So listening is not a passive process. Hearing is a physiological process. Without the ability to listen effectively, messages are misunderstood. As a result, dash breaks down, communication breaks down. I don't know whether all of you have played the Chinese whispers, so you can make out how, because of this thing, that communication really breaks down. Dash is the most basic type of listening whereby the difference between different sounds is identified, that is discriminative. As the name suggests, discriminate, differentiate. So you can differentiate the difference between different sounds. Listening is a dash as well as a dash act. It's a visual as well as an auditory act. Auditory, ears; visual, eyes. Because not only you listen, you sometimes visualize too, or you're seeing a passage in front of your eyes and you are listening to the questions asked about the passage. So it's both visual as well as auditory act. Now, what you're doing is now, suppose somebody is listening to this video. It's both visual and auditory. You're listening to my voice. At the same time, your concentration is on the question there. So it's visual and auditory. Dash listening is also known as content listening, that is comprehension listening. Dash listening is done in order to evaluate and judge, forming opinion about what is being said. That is critical listening, critical thinking, critical ideas, critically analyze. So it's nothing but it is done in order to evaluate and judge or inform opinions about what is being done. That is critical listening. Dash listening requires significant real-time cognitive effort, conscious effort, cognition of the mind. It requires that effort. What is it? Critical listening requires that. Biased listening happens when the person hears only when they want to hear. That is very common when it comes into case of gossip. They listen to only when they want to hear, or only when they like the person they would hear. Dash listening is also called critical, judgmental, or interpretative, that is evaluative listening. Dash listening is used to appreciate what we listen, that is appreciative listening. When you hear somebody having reached their pinnacle of success, when you hear or listen to a poem taught by a teacher, which is so beautifully described, when you listen to a story, when you listen to some dialogue delivery by your favorite actors, those are all appreciative listening. In dash listening, we care about the other person and share, that is sympathetic listening. Dash listening requires excellent discrimination and close attention. Empathetic. In sympathy, you just listen. But in empathy, you literally put yourself into the other person's shoes and respond accordingly. In dash listening, the listener has a purpose of not only emphasizing the speaker, but also help the speaker to develop and to change. So that is one thing. Dialogue stems from the Greek words dash meaning through and dash meaning words. Dia meaning through and logos meaning words. Dialogic listening is sometimes known as relational listening. Dash listening helps in developing relationship listening. Selective listening implies a more negative type of listening. Dash and dash listening are combined for a good reason: active and effective listening. See the number of types of listening. You have negative listening, it's a negative type. Which one? Selective listening. Relationship listening helps in developing relation. Dialogic is also known as relationship listening. Dia means through, logos means words, adopted from the Greek word. That is one thing. Okay, in dash listening of not only emphasizing but also helps the speaker. In empathetic listening only. Okay, next one. When you go through, okay, you need excellent discriminatory skills in empathetic listening. In sympathy, you just care about the person. You appreciate in appreciative listening. Evaluative listening is also called critical, judgmental, or interpretive. Then, when people want to hear only what they want, and that is referred to as biased listening, you require significant real-time cognitive effort, that is critical listening. Then, critical listening is also done in order to evaluate and judge forming opinions. Dash is also known as content listening comprehension. Listening is both visual as well as an auditory act. And when you learn to discriminate the different sounds, that is called discriminative listening. If you don't have the ability to listen effectively, messages are misunderstood. As a result, communication breaks down. Hearing is a physiological process as compared to listening, which is not a passive process, it's an active process always. Listening is always an active process and not a passive process. Business reports should not be written in the essay type of format. This relates only to listening. So I have picked up questions from listening for 1 mark, and instead of doing it as an MCQ, I have given the answers to you so that you don't have to really worry in searching for the answers. So this is one which I picked up from the listening chapter for your sake. Tomorrow, another chapter I will pick up. So this is the thing that I wanted to do. Now we move on to the next paper that we would like to discuss. And that's the next paper. Okay. Yes, let me enlarge. Yes. Read the jumbled passage carefully and then pick the option in which the best sequence is shown. Converting money into several currencies in the course of one trip can also be quite expensive, given that banks and bureaus charge commission on the transaction. Converting money into several currencies can be expensive, yes, given that banks and others charge commission for the transaction. You must be aware of this when you go on a trip to the European countries or to the US or even to Germany or any of the countries. When you want an exchange, commission is charged by the bank and you do lose certain amount. Trying to work out the value of the various notes and coins can be quite a strain, particularly if you're visiting more than one country. Very true. Excuse me. If you're visiting the United Arab Emirates and if you're visiting America, where it is dollars, where it is dirhams, conversion is difference is quite tiring. Travel can be exciting, but it can rather be complicated. One of these complications is undoubtedly foreign currency. True, traveling is wonderful. Planning is also done. Currency is really complicated. And one of the complications is undoubtedly foreign currency. So as you read, only you can understand C will be the first one. Traveling can be very exciting, but it can also be rather complicated. Second, one of these complications, the complicated is there, so the continuation automatically comes on to the next one. One of these complications is undoubtedly foreign currency. Now, the second one, trying to work out the value of the various notes and coins can be quite a strain, particularly if you're visiting more than one country. And the last, converting money into several currencies in the course of one trip can also be quite expensive, given that banks and bureaucracy charge commission on the transaction. 3, 4, 2, 1. So easily this was done. So it is very common. I told you, yesterday also we had one, today also we had one. Fill up the blanks by choosing the most appropriate option. Some people believe that in emotional maturity, men are inferior to women. Here, I would like to share the whiteboard. Oh no, that is also, okay. 2 seconds. I'm extremely sorry for this interruption today. I had even taught this long ago, but remember, this is a very big clue. When you have these adjectives, superior, inferior, junior, senior, elder, it will always be followed with the preposition only to, nothing else. I'm superior to you, I'm inferior to you, I'm junior to you, I'm senior to you, I'm elder to you. Always. Always means always. Even with this verb, this is a verb, prefer. Here also, when you have prefer as the verb, you will only have two. This is the biggest clue. If you know this, your preposition fill in the blanks cannot go wrong only. So that is the thing that is given there. So when you have superior, junior, senior, inferior, all this, you will automatically have what is known as only 2. Outreach in the vicinity. Okay, that is one thing which I wanted to tell. The next that you have, communication being particular and clear rather than fuzzy and general implies which principle of communication? Communication being particular and clear rather than being fuzzy implies which communication principle of concreteness? Concrete. It is concrete. It is not general. It's specific. There is a real specificity. Yesterday, there was one question on communication, which was on clarity. Today, there is again one more question on communication, and that is concreteness. See how it has been asked. Fill up the blanks on the 7 C's with the most appropriate option. Drinking country liquor at marriage is a custom dash certain tribes, among certain tribes. Let me show you this too. Okay, in this, I had said among and between. So you have among certain tribes, it said. Now remember, it is only among and not between. So it is not between. Between is always used for two, more than one, more than two, and for a group like this, we always use among only. So this is another difference that you should be aware of in prepositions. It is among and not between. So between two, it is fine. Among tribes, it is like this. So that is one thing that I wanted to tell you that. Find the appropriate meaning of the given word from the choices given below. So perjure, to hide, to lie, to confess, deny. If you remember, we had done this yesterday in the list of the words, under oath you lie. So it is to lie. Fill the blanks, choosing the most appropriate option. He was not listening. That what I was saying. He was not listening, which I was saying. He was not listening to what I was saying. That's the answer. Now, we'll come back to the passage later. Okay. Okay, this passage is jumbled passages. Okay. Read the jumbled passage carefully. Pick up option in which the best sequence is shown. Okay. This clearly indicates that the brains of men and women are organized in the way they process speech. Difference in the way men and women process language is of special interest to brain researchers. However, women are more likely than men to suffer aphasia when the front part of the brain is damaged. It has been known that aphasia, a kind of speech disorder, is more common in men than in women when the left side of the brain is damaged in an accident or after a stroke. So as I read the passage, if you listen, automatically you will know that 2 is the starting. Now there are 2 options with 2 starting, A and C. So we have to go to the next one. So difference in the way men and women process language is of special interest to brain researchers. Fine. Next one. It has been men are more likely to suffer. So that is not going to come. What is it that is going to happen? A kind of speech disorder results, especially due to an accident or due to a stroke. So 2, 4. So automatically you leave the option of C and automatically A will be the only option left. You can just mark. For your sake, I'm reading. However, women are more likely to suffer aphasia when the front part of the brain is damaged. Aphasia's meaning is given here. Once the meaning is given, then you can come to this conclusion. Without the meaning, you can't use this word. Automatically 2, 4, 3 and last one. Find the appropriate meaning of the given word from the choices given below. Empathy. Tranquility is peace. Opposition is opposite, fighting. Understanding, Ir is anger. The only option left is understanding. Choose the most appropriate option for each of the following question. Malified. If you remember, I had even said malified is opposite of bona fide. Bona fide, good intentions. Trustworthy. Malified, bad. Malicious, bad. So malified means bad intentions. The so is to reduce any process. Okay, it's gone here. Let's move on. To help in recruitment, to allocate difference of resources to different functional areas to increase labor output. C. Choose the most appropriate option for each of the following questions. Smell a rat means behave like a rat, never. Trust blindly, to expect trick, to detect a foul smell. Automatically A and D you can just omit. It's literal translation. You behave like a rat? No. You smell a foul smell? No. So A and D is gone. You have only 2 left. B and C. That is how you eliminate options. And you know very well this is an idiom. You cannot have literal translation at all. So there is some hidden meaning inside. You're not going to smell a rat, let me tell you. So it is not that. you're suspecting some kind of trick. And so C is the right answer. Price lists, manuals, purchase orders are all examples of horizontal, no. Internal, no. Vertical, no. External communication. How you eliminate the choices which are not appropriate for that question is very important, especially during the time of an examination. Horizontal, no, it's in the office. Internal, between two departments, no. Vertical, top to bottom, no. Price list, getting manuals, getting purchase orders. What example? External communication. Choose the most appropriate option for each of the following question. Question. To cool one's heels means below. Pick someone. Impossible. Okay. To walk on the hills. Someone. No. A and D, gone. Now you have only two options, B and C. To close the chapter, to wait and rest for some time. So C is the answer. Choose the next options below. Adherence, 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 adherence. Now, RANCE, RENCE, RENCE, you should know. It is ADHE, adherence. Appropriate option for each of the following. Pro rata, proportion, pro rata. According to the pro rata, he took that, he gave me that pro rata proportion. So it is A. An amount set aside out of profits or surpluses to meet contingencies is called reserve fund. You know very well. Repo is not, collateral security not, royalty is not. Now, fill in the blanks with the choosing the most appropriate. Somehow see every paper at least has minimum one preposition. Prepositions can really make a paper or mar a paper. So be very careful when you are utilizing prepositions. My father was annoyed with me, not upon me. He cannot be angry on your head, sitting on your head. No, people use angry on me. No, not on me, not upon me, not towards me, with me. He was angry with me. So remember that. Dash is distracting, interferes with the communication process. Nice. Sender's voice, receiver's voice. How? You need the sender's voice is needed and the receiver's voice is also needed for communication to be absolutely perfect. So for between those two voices, see how I use between, because one is sender, one is receiver. I use them between the two voices. If something cannot be heard, what is it that is disturbing? Only noise. Eliminate 3. How we can eliminate? Communication is a dash process as it incorporates the changing shape of the participants and the environment. You have costly, you have slow, you have new, you have dynamic. It's always dynamic. It's always dynamic. It cannot be new. It cannot be costly. What is in talking? Nothing. You spend nothing, you give nothing. So what is there in talking? You have a doubt. If you ask a doubt, what do you lose? No. So it's always dynamic. Communication is always dynamic. So the class is dynamic. That means to say you have understood, if not all, at least 10%. So class should be dynamic. Communication should be dynamic. Choose the most grammatically correct option from below. The Titanic did not reach its destination. The Titanic did not reach her destination. the Titanic did not reach their destination. The Titanic did not reach his destination. If you're smart enough, I'm telling you, pick it up like this. Have you seen the options? All are the same. All are the same. Then where is the difference? The difference lies in the usage of the pronoun. Now, what kind of pronoun? Possessive pronoun. Now, Titanic is the name of the ship. I am not going to attribute her to her. I am not going to attribute his to the ship. I am not going to attribute their, because there is used for more than one. Okay, there, it is their house. Okay, then what is the option? Only it's. Only it's. Here they can give you one more choice. Let me show that. The Titanic did not reach ITS/IT''s destination. When you want to say it belongs to the it, so we use without an apostrophe. Here, the factor that I have used an apostrophe indicates something is missing here. What is it? It becomes it is. So this cannot be the answer. This is the biggest clue. So remember, that is how you eliminate choices. It's not only knowing the answer, it's how you eliminate. Now they could have given this too. Why did they not give? Because they could have given. It's also very confusing, actually. So remember that. Oh, the white book looks so clean when it is cleaned nicely. Yeah. Okay. Remuneration. Remuneration. So you know ration spelling. RATION. And if you have noticed very smartly, here RATION is the same throughout. So that is it. Then where should the problem come? In the usage of ERU, RN, RM. Remuneration, narration, no, narration. So first one is the correct answer. Under dash data can be stored on cloud. Cloud storage data can be stored on cloud. Choose the most grammatically correct option from below. Please stop interfering in my romantic life. Please stop interfering in my romantic life. Please stop interfering for my romantic life. Please stop interfering with my romantic life. Just like Titanic, here you have a mistake. It's in prepositions. Have you noticed how prepositions are given? So I will give you prepositional exercises tomorrow. It will be helpful. So into, in, for, with. Into it cannot be, because into is always action. And it is from a lower level to a higher level. The dog jumped into the well. It can jump from the ground into the well. So no, that cannot be. With is not addition. For, no way, it is only in. When addressed to all employees and office memorandum is good as a or an office order, business letter, office circular, report. You know very well it cannot be office letter, your business letter. Business letter you write from one office to another. You know very well it cannot be report because you are not reporting about what has happened. It cannot be an office order that also passes on. It's only a circular. In schools, you must have seen how the circular is brought to the classroom in case of an emergency, and the teachers are asked to sign later. Here, probably it's memorandum. Known to self, known to others is called as dash in Johari window. Facade, blind spot, unknown, arena quadrant. It is arena quadrant. A quorum, a list of securities owned by a person who acts on behalf of others. A person who owns a business. Minimum number of members required to be present in order to transact business at a meeting. Quorum is that. You should have the quorum. Then you can have a meeting. Yeah. We'll come back to the passage last. Okay. The workers' empowerment and their participation in management has led to an increase in the flow of diagonal communication, upward, horizontal, downward. That increase is a big flow. And workers' empowerment is another big flow. Automatically, it is upward. It can't be downward. It can't be horizontal. It cannot be tangent or a diagonal like this. So it's upward. And bar is also known as search bar, browser bar, HTTP bar, URL bar. Read the jumbled passage carefully. Pick the option in which the best sequence is shown. She was right about 33 curiosity, freckles and doubt, but wrong about love. Poor of the rings had better be without love, curiosity, freckles and doubt. Love is indispensable in life. So wrote Dorothy Parker, the American writer. So now you know very well, Four of the rings I would better be without. Love, curiosity, freckles, and doubt. That's the starting. You have only one option, A. So wrote Dorothy Parker, the American writer. She was right about 3 curiosity, freckles, and doubt, but wrong about love. Love is indispensable in life. The ultimate conclusion you come about love. A dash and dash is an evaluation or assessment or review of a particular event, issue, period, or set of circumstances related to a business report. We did this yesterday also and now also. Now the last one in this paper, a stage. Oh, beautiful, small. Nature writing is non-fiction. Fiction prose about environment. Nature writing encompasses a wide variety of those emphasis on natural history facts such as field guides to those in which philosophical interpretation dominate. It includes natural history, essays of solitude or escape, as well as travel and adventure writing. Nature writing often draws heavily on scientific information and facts about the natural world, At the same time, it's frequently written in the first person and incorporates personal observations of and philosophical reflections upon nature. Modern nature writing traces its roots to the works of natural history that were popular in the second half of the 18th century and throughout the 19th. An important early figure was the Parson naturalist Gilbert White, 1720 to 93, a pioneering English naturalist and ornithologist. He is best known for his natural history and antiquities of Selborne. Ornithologist, one who studies about birds. Which statement summarizes about the passage? Talk how nature is missing? No. Okay. The passage talks about life and lessons of Gilbert White. No. The passage talks about what nature writing is, the different types of nature writing, its style, the root, the pioneer of modern nature writing. Everywhere you've seen, it's nature writing, nature writing, nature writing. Okay, is non-fiction or fiction, variety of facts, naturalist, essay, poetry, all that stuff, heavily on scientific information. So it's about in general. Choose the most appropriate option. Nature writing emphasizes on historical facts of the nature, philosophical interpretation of the nature, scientific information, and facts. All three. Based on the passage, what is period to which the modern nature can be traced to? Based on the passage, what is the period to which modern nature can be traced to? If you have seen, nowhere, how can you see this clue? How deeply there was second half of the 18th century and throughout the 19th. Second half, before 1750. 1750, two have been given. You know very well if it is 17, it is 18th century. And then throughout the 19th, only one. So throughout the 19th, so you cannot be 1900 because it will become 20th century. So throughout, you cannot put 1900, 1899. See how tricky the question is. How tricky the question is. So it is 1750 to 1899. Which word aptly describes the word used in the passage? So reflection could be a mirror image, but remember it reflects back to the passage. So you will have to see the contextual meaning. Opinion, none of the above. Reproduction, images. Reflections as used in the passage. So you will have to understand reflections is here now. Here, nature writing often draws heavily on scientific information and facts about the natural world. At the same time, it's frequently written in first person, incorporates personal observations of and philosophical reflections upon nature, philosophical opinion about nature. Now, according to the passage, what kinds of parts are works are as part of writing? Natural histories, essays, essays of solitude, or escape poetry, travel and adventure writing. So all of the above. That is it. So So far, I have discussed with two mock papers, two papers that I picked up from the textbook for your sake, and I have done it. As I told you, I shall be doing it prepositions for your sake so that you get used to it, and we also answer one more paper. So if you have noticed, the comprehension passage is very much there, prepositions is very much there, something of communication is very much there, jumbled up is always there, meanings are there, spellings are there. I know it's very difficult to go through everything, but as far as possible, I shall take out and give it to you along with the paper. So we have 3 more days ahead of us. So we shall do it. So with that, we will do it. Now, tomorrow also, we will do it, and we will take up a paper and revise whatever is done. Now, it's left to you to look in through the videos and get to any doubts if necessary. Excuse me, this week would be the last class. Hence, anything that arises, anything that touches upon you, anything that needs to be clarified, you could always do it. And if you're still not enrolled, better late than never. Register and listen to the videos that could be of immense help to you. So it's time for your exams, but these also would be so helpful that instead of reading the textbook, half the reading is done here. That I can assure you. So it gets into your system, and remaining half, if you feel has been omitted or has not been dealt with, that part you could touch upon. It'll be so easy. It'll be so wonderful. You must be thankful to Ekcel Academy for this great opportunity bestowed upon you. Not all of them think in this direction. So when somebody is there to think about it, just grab it. Grab it at the earliest. Do not leave it untouched. Don't leave any stone unturned for your exam. Touch every part, you'll never regret. You should never say, I wish I had done it. No, I have done it. Now, if it doesn't come, it's not my problem. But I'm consciously satisfied that I've done it. My inner conscience says, yes, you have done your best. Rest is left not to your hands, to somebody else's hands, and that's what it is. But you should do your hard work. So with this note in mind, here's Meenala Satyamurthy signing off, and once again apologizing for the little interruptions that were caused during today's session. Sorry for that, but then it's beyond my control, it's beyond everyone's control. Things do happen. After all, let's forgive and forget and be glad that it was only just, after all, 4 to 5 minutes and we could deal with the rest. So have a lovely Tuesday ahead of you. God bless, good wishes, happy afternoon ahead, and thank you so much. Thanks to Ekcel Academy. Thanks a lot.